I have been able to utilize, internalize, and leverage the word smile. Now, we said we're going to work a lot with words and acronyms. SMILE stands for Seeing Miracles in Life Every Day.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Helping with Dr. Richard Schuster. Food for the brain, knowledge from the experts, tools to win at life. I'm your host, Dr. Richard. Whoever you are, wherever you're from, and whatever you do, this is the show that is going to help you become the best version of yourself. Each episode, you will hear from some of the most amazing, talented, and successful people on the planet who followed their passions and strive to help others. Join our movement to get 1 million people each day to commit acts of kindness for others. Together, we're going to make the world a better place. Are you ready? Because it's time for your Daily Helping. Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Daily Helping Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Richard, and we have an amazing guest today. And if you can't get excited and enthused after listening to him for the next 30 to 45 minutes, there are serious problems. His name is Barry Shore. He is the ambassador of joy. He is transforming the world through joy. In his newest book, the book is called The Joy of Living, How to Slay Stress and Be Happy, reveals 11 strategies for living in joy daily, no matter the circumstances. Barry is a successful serial entrepreneur with 2 multi-million-dollar exits and 3 issued patents. He set out to build a platform to teach people to live in joy, and he has done so many incredible things. He founded the Keep Smiling movement, which has distributed over 2 million Keep Smiling cards for free. His radio show and podcast, The Joy of Living, has been downloaded millions of times, and he's been featured in Fox, Forbes, ABC, CBS, Jack Canfield, and his platform has been chosen by Oprah Winfrey as one of her favorite things. Barry, I have been looking forward to this for so long. Welcome to the Daily Helping. It is great to have you on the show.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings. Now, Dr. Richard, how can I make the categorical statement that the tens of thousands of people that are watching this and sharing this are all good looking? Because by definition, if they tuned in to your podcast, Dr. Richard's Daily Dose of Goodness, by definition, you're looking for the good. And that's the definition of a good-looking person. Always looking for and finding the good.
I should have also made a note. We may get musical on this episode, so
absolutely, it's the song tuned. Of life.
I love it, Barry. Man, there's so many different things we can talk about, and you've accomplished so much. But your story is fascinating and inspiring. So let's take us back. Let's go back to before you got sick, and we're going to talk about that. So let's talk about you. You built some businesses. Were you already at your point of joy? Were you feeling fulfilled, or did that come later?
First of all, Richard, I am deeply honored and humbled to be here today with the many, many people that you touch around the world, because this is important work. What we're doing with our book, The Joy of Living, and the subtitle is How to Slay Stress and Be Happy under all circumstances, or no matter the circumstances. The only thing I would like to share with you at the moment, Richard, is that we want to go forward. Now, by going forward, we need to have what you call it is correct, the backstory. But let's make one thing very, very clear. This show is not about Dr. Richard. This show is not about Barry Shore. This show is all about you, Y-O-U, you, the one who's watching, listening, and becoming more and more aware of the ability for you to go mad and make a difference in the world. So on this show, we're going to be talking about the 3 fundamentals of life. And the first is that life, your life, has purpose. And when you lead a purpose-driven life, you can go mad. Now, MAD is a great acronym. We'll work with a lot of them throughout the show, which stands for make a difference. You lead a purpose-driven life, you make a difference. And the third is uncovering the secrets and the power of everyday words and terms. Simplest example, right now we're being carried over the internet, right?
Yep.
Dr. Richard. And if you ask anybody, well, what is the internet? What does www stand for? And invariably they'll say to you, it has to do with the internet. And factually speaking, they're correct. But in our world, Dr. Richard, the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, www stands for, drum roll, fanfare, da-da-da. What a wonderful world. And what is a word, right? Now, I'm saying this purposely because you asked about the story. So let's just go and take a snapshot in time. Imagine the following. Happens to be with September 17th, the year 2004. I'm standing up in the morning, just like I hope 99.99% everybody watching, hale and hearty, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. That evening, I was in the hospital, paralyzed from my neck down. I became what's called a quadriplegic. You're Dr. Richard. You know about quadriplegia. And it was not from a car accident. It was not from a spinal injury. It was a very rare disease, which goes by the term French polio, Guillain-Barré syndrome for the cognoscenti and such. But I literally was standing up, hale and hearty, and in the evening, completely, totally paralyzed, my neck down, nothing in my body moved. 144 days in the hospital. I was in a hospital bed in my own home for 2 years. I couldn't turn over by myself. I was 4 years in a wheelchair. I had braces on both my legs, my hips to my ankles. And that was progress for a year and a half. Now today, thank God, I'm able to be vertical and ambulatory, albeit with the help of a 7-foot walking wand made for me by a Zen master. So I'm a triped and not a biped, but I still can't walk up a stair by myself or a curb. And I have help 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. But you hear my voice, positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. Why? Because it goes to what your question was in the very beginning. I have been able to utilize, internalize, and leverage the word smile. Now, we said we're going to work a lot with words and acronyms. SMILE stands for seeing miracles in life every day. Every day. Now, invariably, when I'm speaking, remember in the days when we could actually speak to people in an audience,
Indeed,
things like
yes.
that, whether I had 50 people in the audience or sometimes, thank God, 5,000, people would invariably raise their hands and say, but Barry, sure, but now for hours where I haven't seen any miracles. And I asked them, are you here? Can you hear? Can you see? Can you stand? Can you walk? You have water to drink, you have food to eat, you have a place to sleep, you have family, you have friends. Every single one of those, Dr. Richard, is a miracle. Here's the simple proof. 1 million plus people did not get out of bed this morning. Why? They died. You're here. If you're watching this, listening to this, guess what? You're alive. By definition, live exuberantly. Use life to the full. The second thing is right now, we're just emerging from the pandemic. God willing, it will be gone in the rest of 21. It'll be a distant memory. But millions of people don't get out of bed because they're infirm. I'm trusting that 99.99% of everybody watching and listening can get out of bed. Now, it still takes me 10 minutes every day to get out of bed. But guess what? I get out of bed. And to the heart of your question, yes, thank God I came into quadriplegia filled with joy, happiness, peace, and love. Not to the extent I am now. It's been ratcheted up. But yes, I have lived, thank God, what other people call a blessed life, because I work on the process of living in joy daily. I seek out opportunities to be of service. I live in a world that is an abundance. The first words I use in the morning are ABC. Abundance, bountiful, and channeling of goodness. I'm not that smart, so I just think, what can I do? ABC. Abundance, bountiful, channeling of goodness. And thank God I've been doing that for decades. One of the reasons I was able to build businesses and sell them and make them successful and such, because they were service-oriented business. What was the problem? What is the solution? What can we do to help? And then, of course, things like money come along. Okay. And then you become paralyzed. Okay, sure. Now what are you going to do? Can you walk your talk? That's what I'm working on in life. That's why we wrote the book, to be able to touch people. The joy of living, being able to do that every single day just because you're alive.
Hey guys, Dr. Richard here. For the past 7 years, I've been privileged to bring you incredible guests who are changing the world and can help you become the best version of yourself. I'm really excited to share with you a new quiz that I created based on my clinical training that will curate for you a custom list of my top episodes and actionable strategies to help you wherever you are on your journey. All you need to do is go to drrichardschuster.com to take it, and it's 100% free. You'll be taking the next step on the journey to unlocking the power of you, and I can't wait to see where you'll go.
There is so much to unpack there, and we have almost assuredly obliterated the record for acronyms on this show. So kudos to that record, which you now hold and likely will keep forever. But you said something that was really interesting that I kind of want to expound on. You said that the joy, that hunting out opportunities to make a difference, be of others, it ratcheted up. Those were your words. So it wasn't as powerful for you as it is now. Was it something that evolved gradually? Was there an experience or an interaction with somebody that really clicked a light bulb for you? What was it that made you go into overdrive in terms of joy?
Dr. Richard is not a doctor just because he chose to have a title. He is truly a doctor, and he understands the human phenomenon. The simple answer is, you ready?
Yep.
My mother. So I'm going to tell everybody a great story. At least I think so. Thank God I have a wonderful mother and father. I'm blessed also with 2 younger siblings, both girls. My mother, Frances, was born in 1917. And when she was born, she came out with a red wine stain over 3/4 of her face. And it was pockmarked. So in the best of circumstances, kids growing up have issues, right, Dr. Richard?
Yeah, I'm afraid they do.
I mean, commonly today, talk about bullying in school and all that sort of stuff. Imagine growing up in the early part of the 20th century with a red wine stain and such. But guess what? Frances didn't just, she got through it. She was the embodiment of life, of joy. And we didn't just see it as kids. We actually got to meet a lot of her friends who were with her when she was in high school, plus her siblings and such. So this is the way she is. This is Frances. My mother, I asked her one time, she said, I made a conscious decision when I was 8 years old that I was going to be happy. People around me were a bit glum because they looked and saw it. I didn't see it. Of course, I know I have it, but look what she did. She lived a very full life. She did very well in school. She was in sports. She married a very good-looking guy and successful, my father, 3 wonderful children. I count myself among them. And she became the embodiment of joy, happiness. So when you have a model that you can not just look at, but see how they act, how they respond, I learned that the 6 most important words in life are the following, Dr. Richard. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. I choose to live a life that is involved with, that is built upon joy, happiness, peace, and love. I got it directly from my mother's womb. Can't get much better than that. And then I worked on it to build it even more. It's like I inherited a fortune, and now I became even more fortunate. And the greatest fortune is to be able to share it with the world. Share stands for spreading happiness and rejuvenating energy. That's what I got from my mother, my father, my sisters, and our family.
So awesome. And you said it exactly right. It is a choice, and, fortunately and hopefully we're coming out of this pandemic. But again, it is a choice to live in fear or to focus on the blessings we have, the health that we have, the opportunities we have to connect with family. And in a lot of ways, I think this pandemic has brought us closer together, because otherwise we'd be running around and going to offices and doing all the things. And I choose personally to look at that from a standpoint of, man, I got to spend more time with my kids than I normally would. And that's awesome. So, but I do know that for people around the world, this is still stressful. This is still of concern. And so, your book talks about slaying stress. So what I'd love to do is spend a little bit of time, and I'm sure you've got some more acronyms to lay on us, but talk about, the strategies and tips from your book so that people can slay their stress.
Willfully and gratefully. Let's talk about, first of all, you mentioned health. Health stands for helping everyone achieve life through happiness. That's real good health, isn't it?
Yep.
Helping everyone achieve life through happiness. Dr. Richard mentioned the word stress, the most commonly searched word on the internet outside of COVID or pandemic, and today vaccine, is for everybody, the word stress. Stress! That's how people approach it, right? So stress is an acronym, Dr. Richard. And when you hear how we approach the acronym of stress, it'll not only make you smile, but you'll understand, you'll intuit exactly what we mean by it and why the 11 strategies are so valuable. And again, this show is not about Dr. Richard or Barry Shore, it's about you. So stress stands for, from Barry Shore's world of positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, stress stands for stomach turning reality, enabling self-sabotage. Ah! You know what happened? We lost my job, we lost my house, the kids, this is, did you know there's suicide is going on? Look at the world, look at the politics, everything is falling apart. Stress. Isn't that how a lot of people could approach the subject? Right?
Yep, absolutely.
And it's true, by the way. We're talking about stuff. We are not minimizing. We are not hiding under a rug. We're not glossing over. Let's hear another way of looking at the same exact word. Stress. Stomach turning reality. This is something serious. There is a situation or situations in your life. Stomach turning reality, enabling self-success. Self-success, yes. How you respond to any situation is what's going to make the difference in your life. You can be mad in the common way of understanding it, or you could be mad in the sense of making a difference. That's what MAD really wants to stand for. We want to infuse words. We want to uncover and unlock the secrets and the power of everyday words. Stress. Something, it's true. Lost a job, may lose the home. I knew cousin committed suicide. There's stuff going on. I choose, choice, not chance, determines my destiny. And in that moment, like what happened with Barry Shore, in the moment of quadriplegia, in the moments of being touched by the good Lord and say, excuse me, I need your attention, Barry Shore. You've been doing some good stuff in the world, but I need you to think a little bit more and deeper. What are you going to do to respond? When you respond with self-success, you transform you. And when you're the best you possible, you make the world a better place. The world can't go on without you being the best you. So stress, think about it. And that's what the 11 strategies are about. Let me give you one that just jumps out because it's the one that people say, huh? One of the greatest of the 11 strategies is, you ready? Get uncomfortable. Huh? What do you mean, Barry Shore? Get uncomfortable? Come on. I need this. I got to put on that sweater and sit down and watch the game and drink a beer. Oh, by the way, all wonderful things at the right time, right place, and by choice. Comfort is where dreams go to die. I'll give you a simple example of uncomfortable, by the way. We're not talking about putting on a hair shirt or putting a pebble in your shoe so it hurts every time you walk. What we're talking about is get uncomfortable is the ability to move out of your zone so that you're thinking. Simplest example, brush your teeth using your non-dominant hand. I was taught this, by the way, at the age of 17, Dr. Richard. I had a friend, I remember specifically, he was 25, and he was selling insurance and making what then was a very large amount of money, because this goes back decades. He was making over $100,000 a year at the age of 25 selling insurance. And he was training people. And he loved good friend. He said, hey, Barry, I love you. I want to share something with you. Remember, share, spreading happiness and rejuvenating energy. What hand do you brush your teeth with? My right hand. Hello. He said, okay, learn how to brush your teeth with your left hand. I thought he was crazy. He said, just do it. Just humor me. Do it for at least a week. Well, guess what? I did it. I still do it. And it doesn't feel, quotations, right. But guess what? Every time I do it, it enables me to think. Let's use the word create. You want to create the world you want to live in, right? You want to live in a beautiful world. I want to create that kind of world. How do you do that? Despite the circumstances, create stands for causing rethinking, enabling all to excel. I think a lot of people have heard about NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. We do it for ourselves. Our brains are so powerful, so elastic, so marvelous. You have over 100 billion brain cells. You have over 10,000 trillion synapses connecting all those brain cells. And they're there for more than just deciding what kind of latte you want this morning. So you go out of your house, and normally you walk out of your house, you turn right, you go to the garage, or you walk down the street, whatever you do. Well, this day, walk out of your house and decide, I'm going to turn left. Maybe just 10 yards. And then you'll turn around and go right, because that's the way you need to go. But when you've done that, you have chosen something. You literally made a conscious decision. When you use your mind and your brain, everything changes. Is that not right, Dr. Richard? Am I correct on this?
What I love about what you're sharing is that there's science to back this up for everything that you've said.
Absolutely. Let's talk about science for a moment, by the way. We talked about create, causing rethinking, enabling all to excel. Think is my humble opinion, great acronym, to harness insightful neural connection. I love four-letter words. I use them. We're going to tell everybody in advance. I use four-letter words. I even use the four-letter FU word. So if you're going to edit this, you'll have to decide if you're going to keep it in or keep it out. And I use the four-letter FU word because it's fun and for the shock value. But the four-letter words, by definition, that we use in our world are the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant are love, life, hope, grow, holy, free, play, pray. Those are four-letter words. In other words, think four-letter words and create the substantive, powerful, positive four-letter word. And the four-letter FU word is fun. F-U, capital N, capital N. Now, invariably, people raise their hands and say, hey, Barry, sure, come on, fun is only three letters. I said, not in my world, the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. Fun is spelled F-U, capital N, capital N. So after this show, when you see your family and friends, you put a smile on your face. Remember that stands for seeing miracles in life every day. And with a twinkle in your eye, you point your fingers at F-U, everybody. And remember to add right away, capital N, capital N. I said, where'd you get that? I said, I listened to Dr. Richard. He had this wonderful, nutty guy on, Barry Shore. He talked about F-U to the world. Now, the fact that I'm a nut is also good because NUT is another great acronym that stands for never underestimate thinking. Woo! And it's all backed by science, as you say, Dr. Richard. And if I will talk in just a moment about the other acronym for NUT, we'll talk about thank. But yes, I wanted you to be aware that you not only can, but you should use four-letter words because you're going to think about them. When you have positive thoughts, we'll call it good thoughts, good speech, and good actions, you are now aligning yourself in goodness. And goodness is the essence of living in joy daily. How's that?